Hi there, folks. Simon here. This is the 2022 TAC Championship, and this is the finals of the 2022 TAC Championship. This is between Ali and alion02. Very similar names. That is coincidence. I know that there was some weird stuff with everybody in the semifinals basically having an A name, but that's different. But this is the finals of this tournament, and this is the biggest tournament we have. We run this every 2 years. The TAC Champion is the title they're both playing for right now. This is the biggest honor we have in the TAC community. The previous champion was knocked out by Ali, and the other champion was knocked out by someone else who was then knocked out by Ali. But alion02 has also gone through some really tough competitors as well to make it here into this finals match. And just like all of these matches in this tournament, they are played on a 6x6 board with a 15-minute timer and a 15-second increment, meaning 15 seconds is added to your clock after every move you make. Also, these are played with 2 komi, meaning 2 gets added to black's flat count score at the end of the game if it does not end in a road. Now, really cool stuff going on here with this finals. This is a little bit different because the other matches we've had in this tournament have been 4 games, but the finals is actually 6 games. So this is going to be the first game of 6 that they're playing. They're not playing all of them in a row. That would be crazy, and their brains would be absolutely melted by the end. So, so yeah. Also, we are joined in the commentary box by another competitor who was knocked out earlier in the tournament, but still solid player, PlutoTheBrave.
Hi.
So,
Didn't have to bring that up though.
yeah, sorry I brought up that you got knocked out. But yeah, we are jumping right ahead to game 1 between Ali and alion02. Ali in white, alion02 in black. So without any further ado, let's jump right in to game 1. Now, we were talking right before this started, and you were saying that your pick, who you think is going to win, is alion02.
Uh, yeah, I think Alien maybe just has a Ali is obviously a very good player, very good at kind of endgame chaos and navigating the the endgame. But Alien, I just feel is very, very solid from the opening to the end game. Is kind of almost is probably the closest player we have to Willem Bot, the strongest bot. I don't know. I feel like he's just a very, very hard opponent to beat.
And part of that is, again, that he studies Willembot and plays against Willembot and tries to learn from it. Now, part of that we're seeing right now with the hug opening, which has been unconventional. People tried it a few years back and it kind of fell out of style because they enjoyed the adjacent corners and things like that first. They couldn't really figure out how to make the hug work. It looks like Willembot and alion02 have kind of figured out the hug opening because Alion has been using that in almost every game, if not every game. And it's been really strong for him, partly because nobody really has any practice against the hug opening because they just don't play it. Nobody plays the hug. And so
Yeah,
so that's a big advantage. We saw that with me in the TAC Open against you and against other people. I did a very unconventional opening, and it threw people off and gave me some wins when I really shouldn't have earned any.
yeah, no, it's interesting. I think especially because with TAC, like, because the board is so empty at the beginning, it's sometimes quite hard to see what you should actually do if you're unfamiliar with the position. It's not like even as like a very experienced player, it's very easy just to make a mistake, which doesn't seem like a mistake at all.
Yeah.
Um, and so studying positions, especially with the help of like a bot such as Willem, is very good for making the non-obvious or for avoiding the non-obvious mistakes. but it looks like this is kind of taken Alion by surprise a bit.
Yeah,
So
with
he may
the amount of
already.
time he's taken on this turn, he's definitely not used to this. And Will in the chat, he's also very familiar with the hug opening, and he's the creator of Willembot, and he says that that white b4 play is not something that Alion has really run into, and doesn't really know what to do about it. So then throwing that capstone there, I think it's starting to throw Alion off. I don't know if Ali prepared this or if he is just going with it, going with the flow here. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think. Ooh.
And I think that's the difference between alion02 and a bunch of other players. We're seeing that he prepares and studies
Mhm.
tack like a champion chess player would. And other players of tack, I don't think are doing that at this point. I think people are not preparing those openings as much like Alion does. Because like what Will is saying in the chat is that they prepped this hug opening together and ran through a bunch of scenarios and a bunch of contesting moves to see how to deal with them, how to respond. I can
Yeah.
guarantee you I did not do that.
Well, actually, before my match with Abyss, Aline and I went through a few openings, um, which is quite fun. But this was before he knew he was actually going to be playing in the tournament. But we went through a few openings and just tried to find something for me to play as white, which was relatively unconventional, but would still work. And the bad thing about well, like the drawback of it was we got into move two. Abyss played something that we hadn't planned for, and it was back to square one basically. But but we were both in unprepared territory, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, we're seeing White going for this horizontal line. He's got momentum here, and the capstone's in a pretty solid position. In that Black, if they want to capture up onto b4 or something, that's just eaten by the capstone right away. And he's really stopping Black from being able to go into multiple directions in the vertical here by having those flats there. We might see a
yeah,
capstone from Black at some point soon. Maybe up along in the 5 file to kind of cut in and go for that vertical, or we may see him just keep going along for the horizontal line. Though I think that if White continues with the horizontal and doesn't build something out, some structure like at a5, for example, we're gonna see Black start to cut in and start doing some capturing, and a capstone at b5 might be disastrous, but might not be.
yeah. Well, with the cap at p5, White's cap can make a hard cap.
I was thinking that too, and that's where I think that they would be running into trouble because it would also cut their capstone off from the rest of their flats. And then the hard capstone would be in there. Sure, it's a 0 flat move, but I think it would be pretty strong, especially because it's Ali doing it, and he is known for making some pretty incredible plays for Tinue and great spreads, and having a hard capstone just really makes that a lot more likely to happen.
And that's interesting there with b5. Ali's basically saying, no, the vertical is not happening,
Yeah.
is how I read that. Because Alian cannot play the cap at b5. If he plays the cap at a5, in preparation to move the cap down to a4, White can fill in at a5. Black's vertical really isn't a straightforward threat to make anymore.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's quite interesting to see what Black actually does here.
And this is this play here at b5, a b5 or a5 flat here, I think is really strong, and it's really interesting because it is setting up for that eventual capture that Black will do, and it's easy to miss something like that. For example, me, I would probably just continue for the horizontal because I would not take the time to think about it. I would play quick enough that I would just not go for it, you know? And that's where these guys take a little bit more time here in the opening and figure out what to do here. Now, the interesting thing about this also is that alion02 is down to 11 minutes on the clock, and Ali has just gone down past 14. He's at 14 minutes. And so we see that other. Oh, wow, okay. So a few things to catch up on. The
Oh,
A5 flat is setting up for Black to drop that capstone there. Um, I don't know about that, to be honest.
I
I
I
think
think.
I think this is still good for White.
Oh, it's interesting because Alien has just rejected what I've said about the vertical and is just keeping on going for it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not sure. Yeah, I don't think it's good for Black.
I
I'm
think
not
this
sure at
is really
all.
bad for Black. I think it is very bad for Black, especially if he's able to capture A4 with that wall. Uh, that's
Yeah.
creating this setup for tack, but also it's isolating that Black capstone. It's making positive flat count differential moves. Like it is a lot of good things for White right now. Dropping that wall at A5 was fantastic. I expected a flat there, and I think Alien expected a flat there as well. When that wall dropped, that's a really strong move.
Okay.
Now, is White, do you play at F4 here? Because I feel like I would play at F4.
Oh, I feel maybe you moved down the wall.
Yeah, it's tough because
Oh, I guess because that makes
both
it
of
a
those seem
threat as
fine to me.
well. Yeah, because I feel like no matter what, Black moves the capstone across to B5. Yeah.
That's why I wanted F4 first before he brought that wall down.
Well, yeah, but if White
Oh,
plays
you're right.
F4,
Yeah. Because then
then
now the
Black moves the
capstone comes
capstone
over
anyway.
to B5. Now White can move the capstone over onto B4 to block Black's capstone from getting into things.
Yeah.
Whereas before it wouldn't have been as good. Okay, I see that now.
Now the question is, does White move? I think White does, even though it's. Oh, does White move the cap to B4?
I feel like that's the move here.
It's yeah. I don't know because you've already placed a wall as White, but I guess you're getting a plus FCD move with it anyway,
Yeah.
so it's not a huge like sacrifice. And you cut Black completely off. Yeah, I don't think making the hard cap is. I think making the hard cap is a pretty good option.
Yeah, it seems like the best move in my head at least. Now, Ali has a similar play style to me. However, he's much better at it. We talked about this, how he kind of goes for these chaos things where he sets up these great moves and weird stacks and things like that. I try to do that. I just don't do it very well. Ali's able to pull this off successfully a lot of times, and I feel like we're seeing him setting something up in that regard. He's going to be able to make this hard cap and make it work for him. Um, but if he doesn't go for that, I wonder what he's going for because that would be a more I don't know. I feel like the capstone is a safe move, but also a chaotic move. So I think it works for either play style that you're playing for here.
Yeah, I mean in the chat they're not looking at. Oh, oh, he does make it.
Yep,
I
he
was
went
about to
for it.
say the chat was suggesting Ali pivoting to vertical by playing like E3 or C3 or something.
Hmm.
But no, I like hard cap. I like it. I like it. Oh, how does Black respond?
And the thing is, with this hard cap here, Black can drop a wall at C4 all they want, but the hard cap is there and able to smash on C4.
Yep. Huh. Where does Black play? Like SC4 doesn't seem great.
Mediocre Dvorin is saying move the cap over onto a5. That is another zero flat move. That's a risky one. Sure, you're threatening to capture onto a4, but then that a4 stack can spread down and stay out of range. That's bad. That would be a bad move. That would not
Yeah.
be good for Alion. I think that despite it looking like if you just look at the board, you see that black is up on flats by quite a bit, and you're like, oh, black is clearly winning. I would say white's position is much better here, and they also have essentially better flat count than black, even though black's flat count is better, just because they have the eventual +3 and +3 move. They have two
Yeah.
+3 moves, so that is very strong in terms of flat count differential. Granted, we're on move 10 and they have plenty of reserves left, but that's something to consider, and that's something that a lot of the top players, if not all of the top players, consider from the very beginning of the game. I don't know. Do you
Yeah.
consider flat count from the very beginning?
I do. It's everything is a function of flat count, I feel like. If you make a threat, it's to make the flat count inroads, not to make a threat.
All right, yeah.
But
And
if we
so
see,
I know that alion02 for sure keeps track of flats from move 1 and
yeah,
works on maximizing flats and considers all games to end in flats. If it ends in a road for him, great, but he's pushing for flats from the beginning. And using those road threats to make flat moves is what his sort of thought process is. And I know that's what the thought process is of a lot of players. Like, I believe No Hat Coder plays that way. I think Abyss plays that way as well. And so you get a lot of these top players who think in that sort of way. And we're seeing Alion play for potentially not that way right now. It looks like, or he's just making some mistakes. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I think he's still playing for flats. It's just his position is just not. He's maybe not doing it as well as he can do, and we know he can do.
Yeah.
Um, um. So in the last like two moves, we've seen black e5, white f4, black c3. So white can make a threat here, but no, he's playing at e3 to counteract the black stopping his threat at e5 from moving down to e4.
Yeah. And so it looks like he's trying to set up the Tinue where uh, where he does a4 minus on the next turn, 2 a4 minus.
Yeah,
However, it wouldn't quite work because black's c4, if black does play at c4 here, he'll be able to capture over onto d4 and stop that from being a Tinue.
yeah, we do see that.
And also doing 2 a4 minus here is only the +2 move when he's got the +3 available to him. And so what Alien is doing is making him make the +2 move, or sort of encouraging him to make the +2 move as opposed to the +3.
Yeah. So where does white go now, you think? Because white has to stop the vertical here as
I mean, there's
well.
no threat currently, so he doesn't have to stop anything yet.
No.
I think
Does
white
white
could play at d3.
You think white plays at d3?
I like d3 here. And then if black continues up and makes the threat, you can bring the wall stack down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do like that, yeah. Yeah, that's a good shot. I mean, because I was looking at maybe like white c5 or something, but it doesn't achieve that much, whereas d3, I feel.
I don't like c5 because black just plays at c6 and makes the threat. And
Yeah,
if
but
you're
then
wanting
you
to stop the
bring
threat, that doesn't really do anything for you.
well, but if you then bring c5 down to c4, then you've got you making a threat,
Oh, that's
and
true.
then
Then it would be Tinue,
b3
actually.
up.
Or no, not Tinue, but it would be close.
No. Okay.
That's what
So
I
he only makes a
expected would
+2.
happen if he brought that to a4 minus. And that's
Uh,
exactly Black planned to do that. You could see how fast he moved.
yeah.
And Rabbit is saying d3 here now. Not going to go for it, it looks like. Going to play at c4. And I definitely see why you would want to play c4 here. But now we're going to see d3 from Black, I think. It's not looking as bad for Black anymore. He's really
Yeah.
salvaged this position and gotten into a better spot.
Yeah. I think it also says a little bit about the state of attack in that a position that looks awful may not actually be that bad. I mean, maybe Ali's made a mistake here in converting, but especially in the opening, even if it doesn't look great, it's still, if you play it through, you can complicate it and you can make it look a little bit more in your favor.
Yeah. Even if, say, you had 1.5 komi and your opponent had a really big stack with a hard capstone on the top of it, you could probably play through that and salvage a little bit without resigning, right?
I don't know. It wasn't just that. It was basically Tinue.
It wasn't. I looked at it, and for those of you not following, that was the tiebreaker match that PlutoTheBrave had with Abyss in this tournament. He resigned when he got into a position that looked, I'm going to be honest, really, really bad, where it was basically very close to Tinue, but it wasn't. There was a way out, but it still would have put you so far behind. Yeah, I don't blame you for resigning, but I was kind of put out. I was like, oh, you could have at least fought for it.
It was a long day. It was
It
almost
was a
midnight
long
at that
day,
point,
yeah.
in my defense.
But we are seeing Alion take a lot of time here on this turn. He's down to 6 minutes on the clock. Ali up to 10.5. So a solid buffer for Ali. And it's kind of what we expected. We know Alion takes a lot of time in the early game, similar to Abyss. They both take quite a bit of time early. Ali takes his time. He's not like a crazy fast player like I am or anything, but he takes his time, but he still is able to make some quicker moves and sort of save up his time for when those moves really, really matter. And I think that Alion is going to quickly start to run into some pressure from from the clock, if he doesn't start to pick things up a little bit. But I don't think that his position is that bad. I think that a flat here at d3 is honestly pretty good. I don't know
I
what
guess
we
you
would see as a response to that. I don't think we'd see an e3 left.
D5.
We might see a wall at d5, but that could lead to the capstone being thrown over and smashing on d5,
Hmm.
and that would be bad.
I mean, you don't need a wall. You just can play D5.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing kind of happens, but that means you can then bring your hard cap across to D4.
Oh, and we see the wall drop at a5. He's really wanting to cut off White's ability to fulfill this road. Now I think for White, you kind of want to play at
I like,
d3. Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of like a no-brainer to play d3 after that wall drops. Um, and then if you are able to capture onto d4, like if Black makes the mistake of playing a5 minus, it's Tinue. And that's it. That's
Yeah.
the game. So if he blunders here and plays a5 minus, White will win. But he doesn't. He sees it.
So wait, was it actually Tinue
It would
with
have
A5
been.
minus?
It would have been if he did a5 minus. But Now,
Look,
because it would have been d3
oh yeah,
plus,
no,
and then it would have
it
been
would have been, it
continuing.
would have been.
But
Yeah, yeah,
now I
yeah,
think we need to
yeah.
see e3 left. e3 left feels really good to me. Sure, it stops the it gets rid of that e4 protection. Oh, he doesn't
Oh,
go for it.
we see d5, the threat.
Are we gonna see the throw from the capstone? Because black wants to get that capstone away from that spot behind the other cap where it's not doing anything. If he gets the capstone around onto d5, he's able to use it to interrupt white's line, and white can no longer continue to just push and push and push on the same threat over and over again. White will be forced to spread out and change, shift gears, go to a different direction.
Yeah, but I feel like as soon as black's cap moves away from that point, white is free as well to move their cap away, bring it more central, and to create more threats elsewhere.
Oh, that's true. If black does throw to d5, white can throw to d4.
Yeah,
And that would still be attack threat, but be while it would get rid of the hard capstone, it would be a really, really strong position for white's capstone. And still have a stack on it, still be making attack threat in the horizontal direction. Sure, it's stopped by a wall or something, but would be able to shift gears, go into more verticals. Yeah, it would be really strong. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely not that b5 throw, but black is in a tough position here.
But the thing is, I guess if you don't do the d5 throw, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean,
What
if he
what do
does
you do
e5
then?
left, then e3 left happens, and that's really bad for black.
I mean, a5 minus is now is less. It's not Tinu anymore.
Yeah, that's true. It's not Tinu anymore to do a5 minus.
And
Hmm.
Alien is down to 2 minutes, 30
Oh
seconds.
my goodness. That's an 8 minute buffer on the clock for Ali. So he's got plenty of time to think about what moves he's going to be making soon. And we're at move 16 right now. This is a that's tough. That's tough. And this is a great game too. It's a great demonstration of two clashing styles. Abyss likes to call alion02 greedy, and I think that the way he's using greedy in that way in terms of tack is Alien likes to make these flat moves and goes for flats as often as he can, whereas Ali is not in that same mindset. Last time I talked to Ali about this, he said that he doesn't like flat wins. He doesn't like to win with a flat. He wants to win with a road. And
Oh,
oh, you've got to do e3 left here. And I think that his desire to win with a road over a flat often gets him into trouble and makes him lose. Because he'll go for something when he would have been able to win on flats if he just went for flats and from a certain position. But he's like, no, I want to win with a road, and that'll get him into trouble sometimes. But here, I think you've got to do e3 left. Then e3 left happens, and then you'll see 2d4 right, I think. So this stack on d4 will move over to e4.
yeah. I mean, but you don't have to though. You can set up a little bit. You don't have to rush into making that capture. Though I guess if you
No.
don't, then black may reinforce that position by playing d2 or something.
Or you play
Ooh,
d2 here. So your reinforcement can be d2. And so if they play at c3 next, for example, to make the attack threat in the vertical direction, you can capture up with d2, and
yeah.
that maintains your guard on e4. And so then they'll capture over with c3, right? Then you capture left with e2. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Uh, fair enough.
I don't know about that move, though. Because black's
Well, the
gonna
thing
capture.
is, yeah, but white can throw.
Yeah, white can throw, but if they throw, they lose the hard cap. Black can come down
But
with the
we,
black capstone and go for the vertical threat that they were going for this whole game, and block white's horizontal at the same time. Oh, is white just going to play at c4 here? Or will white capture down onto d3? I think black wants him to
I
play at
feel like
c4.
capturing down to D3 is. I don't like capturing down into D3. Yeah. And now Ali just wins that stack. And the thing is, the black threat isn't that bad because Ali has the wall on A3 or whatever. So black's vertical down on the A and B files is relatively easily stopped. Not even using the
Not using the
the
capstone
cap to get
yet.
it yet.
He's going to wait for
Yeah.
d5 to come down.
SC4, yeah.
I mean, white can spread down with that stack if
It doesn't.
sc4
White doesn't
happens.
need to spread down.
But I mean, that spreading down would be good for that. But I would say instead of spreading down, play up at f5.
Yeah.
If he walls at c4, play a flat at f5. Because you know you'll eventually take that stack with your capstone.
Unless
Unless black
black
drops the
plays
wall, you play
B6.
f5, and then he throws his capstone to d5.
Well, there's a lot of interesting options there because if you play, plays at ST4.
And so this is where, yeah, he doesn't want that stack to spread down, is what he's saying here. Now, what white can do is throw the capstone over, make a threat, but black can bring that capstone down and stop it. Or drop another wall at b4 to stop it, but probably the capstone coming down. I don't
Yeah,
like
no, I
the-
think white needs to. I think white wants to maybe place at C4.
Yeah, if he plays at c4, then it's a threat as well, and that forces a capture.
Yeah, because I don't think because if you don't do that, then so say you play it like F5 or something, then black can do SC4 as well.
Yep, exactly. And that would be dangerous because then you could be cut off from the ability to capture that stack. So yeah, I would say he wants to play c4 for sure. And alion02 is down below a minute on the clock. So while you have all this time, you also don't want to play too slowly because it gives your opponent more time to think about their next move, and you can pressure them on time that way. But I'm not sure if Ali is thinking about that so much as just playing and making this work. He might be thinking he's got the ability to set up a Tinue at some point, and if he does, he's going for it. He's not going to worry about pressuring Alion on time. He's not going to worry about flats. He's just going to go for try and make a Tinue happen. And that's, for me, that's really fun. I hope that he can find something out of this. This is a really interesting position. Not a position that I would expect to see in the finals of the tag championship for sure. The way we got here, it made total sense. Like, I understand a lot of their moves, but Ali has essentially gone for a horizontal threat on the 4 file the entire game. And he has not shifted. It's 19 moves in, and he has not changed gears of where he's going for a threat. And that is, like, bonkers to me. Because part of the reason you build these formations in TAC is so you can switch gears, go to vertical, and then switch back to horizontal, then switch back to vertical again, and keep switching back and forth to keep your opponent sort of on the back foot. But he hasn't done that. He's just done this one line the whole game and has still kept his opponent on the back foot. That's how how well
Yeah,
he's playing this one line.
the threat's just been so powerful, or Orion hasn't dealt with it well enough that it's just he's been able to drive his whole thing. But now I feel like a little bit of a danger here for Ali is that oh oh
Oh,
I like that.
I
I
like
think
that also.
because I was about to say one of the risks here is that Ali just gets stuck with that stack, as in the stack just gets trapped completely, maybe with his cap on top of it, and he's kind of out of position, can't really influence a lot. If you get surrounded by walls and your only option is to go to the ENF files, but by moving it, it means that it's still got influence.
Now, from here, do you go for something like a D3 or an F5?
I think I like F5, yeah.
Because then you're setting up again for that vertical that you can eventually make.
Mhm.
He plays for the D3
But
instead,
Ali goes
which
for
I like the
D3.
D3. It's continuing again for this horizontal line.
I think. Oh, well, I was about to say. I think. Oh wait, no, it would have been a threat. No, I was about to say black should play. Oh, B6, and then white, and then black can move up or move across the wall to C4, and then white can't smash, but white can smash because it's got a hard cap. Anyway, and now there's a big transition to this vertical threat.
Yeah, White's going for the vertical now. I'm surprised that he went for the E5 instead of the F5.
Yeah, yeah, it's hmm. It's maybe a little bit worse, but I'm not sure it's hugely worse.
Now, interestingly, because of the komi, Black is ahead on flats by one.
By one. Okay. And then white has that
Has the +3
plus
move.
3 plus this stack.
And I think Black is determined to make it so that White cannot ever do anything with that stack at C4.
Yeah. Okay, and then we probably see F2 here.
Yeah, F2 makes
Yep.
a lot of sense. White's just going for
Just
these roads. But Black can also shift gears to a horizontal at the bottom now.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Needs to take a bit of advantage because now we're getting to a bit more traditional. Neither of the caps are involved in this threat, basically. So what can happen is if black can complicate the bottom of the board a little bit and get a tiny bit of momentum on his own of his own.
White making the
So
tack
that is a
threat.
threat.
Black captures up, makes their own tack threat. And White can just place a flat here at C2, can place a wall, can capture up onto E2, can capture onto B2, can do. They've got a lot of moves they can make in this position.
Is this black's first threat of the game?
I believe so.
That's fun. Um,
D3 minus is not bad. I like that.
yeah, I think that's a standard move. How would black respond? You move the wall across, I guess. No. White plays b1 plus. And that is a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't really move the wall to a3, a to b3 even.
um, a really bad move that is a threat here would be to throw the capstone down onto b2. That would be a attack threat, but it would also be a
That
really
would be a
bad
tap there.
move.
Yeah. Goodbye to your stack.
He does make the d3 capture. This is attack threat again. I think we're probably going to see a c2 right here.
Yeah. But also, still, moving the wall, I think, is valid. I'm not sure if you lose anything from losing the wall, because from moving the wall. But we see
Basically giving up on that
e2 plus.
horizontal at the bottom, at least for the moment, so he can interrupt that
Yeah.
vertical line. And Alion is down to 26 seconds. I keep forgetting that he's so low on time.
e2 and white just continuing to kind of a bit relentlessly go after this vertical.
And Ali's up at 4.5 minutes on the clock. Alion is down to 10 seconds.
And now d3.
Either, yeah, if he does d3, that'll work. And he can also use the smash to make a threat.
Yeah, you can.
Now, do you want to
d3 also
smash?
means the smash is a threat.
Yeah, the smash is a threat, and then d3 is smashing d4 is now a road. Also
Yeah,
capturing
yeah,
right
that's
with d3 is a road. Now, do you make the smash?
I think you do. I think wait, because then there's a wall at d3 as well.
Well, the smash is a vertical threat.
Yeah, but then you wall at c3.
Or the wall on a4 jumps over onto that stack on c4.
Uh, or the wall jumps over to that stack on a4, and then I guess you re-smash.
I really like the smash here, though.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it, honestly. I'm not sure.
Or you could spread your stack down, your c4 stack down to c2, and then smashing d4 is a road threat again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Smashing d4, and then if we see a wall at like c3, if you bring the whole stack on d4 right onto e4 at that point, that might be a Tinuwe pattern. But
Sorry.
it would take like 15 ply.
Oh yeah, that would be messy.
It would be messy, but it's the kind of play that Alion would make potentially because he has made a puzzle very similar to that in the past. But Ali, I'm not sure if he would
Yeah.
do that sort of sequence. But we are seeing Ali start to get lower on time, getting closer down to Alion's level here. I mean,
I reckon
closer.
he
He's
is
at,
weighing up the smash here.
yeah, he's probably weighing if he wants to make the smash, what Alion would do if he did smash. I don't like the wall at c3. I like jumping over with the a4 wall onto c4 if he does make the smash. I think that's ultimately way stronger for black.
Yeah, I mean, white then just smashes. Or white just does the same thing and goes
Right onto e4.
Right onto e4.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the smash here. I think smashing and then bringing the whole stack on d4 right is a good way to go.
Oh,
He's making the attack threat here though.
no. That is a tax I hadn't even noticed. But then the wall. I feel like now the wall hooves up a lot of captives here.
Oh, he missed the road. He missed the road threat. Now white
he
can
did.
smash and win with a road. Oh, he missed
Didn't
another
even
road
smash.
threat that I didn't even see. I didn't see that road. Oh man, there was a couple roads there, but Ali was down to 15 seconds, so like
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. But man, that was a great game. That was
Yeah.
and it was really dominant play from Ali from basically the get-go. Like he had the lead the whole game, which was really surprising because like you said, you expected alion02 and you still expect him to win the overall tournament, but alion02 is a really strong player and plays in a very different style and very, very solid. And we saw him just get smoked here basically in this game.
Yeah, no, Alien was never in the game. There was like one point where I was like, maybe he's getting a little bit back into it, but no.
That
He
that
just
was
kind
a
of got
really
dominated.
dominant performance from Ali. And congratulations to Ali for winning game 1 of this finals match in the 2022 TAC Championship. That was a really excellent game. I am so glad I got to see that. That was really interesting and really telling. I know that Ali and Alion have only played together 3 times. 2 of those times were on a 7x7 board. The only other time they played 6x6 was back in March, which was probably, yeah, I don't know what they were doing in March. Maybe it was just a casual game or whatever. But that was, I think, before Alion had gotten to his current level, maybe before Willem was invented, if I'm not mistaken. And so, but Ali has won every game that they have played. All 4 games they've played together, Ali has won those. So, so he's keeping up the trend. But thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAC, especially the TAC Discord server, which is where you can find all sorts of TAC resources like strategy guides and people to play with, whether that be on playtac.com or on the Discord itself, playing asynchronously. You can check out all those things there. And thanks again for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.